In this video, I'll show how to pick up essential Blue Mage spells solo by running unrestricted duties. You only need at least item level 385, so free trial players using level 400 tomestone gear can still follow along. You should already have the spells from the Essential Blue Mage Field Spells Guide. Before you begin, make sure the Unrestricted Party setting is enabled in Duty Finder. Running unsynced means you might not learn every spell 100% of the time, though most on this list are reliable. I'll mention how many attempts and how long it took me to learn each spell for 2 characters. But for the first spell turn level sync on, it'll take just a little bit longer but guarantees you learn the spell. We'll start with Eruption. Enter the story version of Bowl of Embers against Ifrit. First, cast Mighty Guard. It will stay active until you turn it off. Then remember to use Basic Instinct at the start of each pull to double your damage and offset the Mighty Guard penalty. Open fights by pre-casting Whistle, pulling with Tingle, and using Triple Trident for immediate burst damage. When your health drops to about half, cast White Wind to heal. For your filler, use Goblin Punch if available, but free trial players may only have Water Cannon. In that case, you can use 1000 Needles for more damage, though it has a long cast time. Eruption is one of the primal spells. It's an instant OGCD area attack with ground targeting. It shares a recast timer with Feather Rain, which is better, but Eruption is the easiest primal spell to pick up. You could use Bristle with Ethereal Spark to apply a 75 potency bleed for 15 seconds, but if you have Goblin Punch, spamming that is the better option. Be sure to destroy the Infernal Nail or you will wipe. Off guard can also help boost your damage. Next, equip Eruption and disable level sync. Then, head to the Striking Tree Hard against Ramuh to learn Shock Strike. With unsynced runs, learning the spell isn't guaranteed. It took me 3 and 2 attempts. Remember to reapply Basic Instinct each time. The combat fundamentals remain the same, but you can now use Eruption every 30 seconds for extra damage. Go slow until you see him use Shock Strike. It is a standard attack. If you go too fast, he'll phase before using the ability. Be sure to defeat the Grey Arbiters when they appear, or you won't be able to damage Ramuh. Shock Strike is an enemy-targeted AoE, OGCD move. It shares a recast timer with Mountain Buster, but you can ignore it in favor of Shock Strike. After equipping Shock Strike, proceed to Alexander Breath of the Creator, A10N. Here, look for the very large goblins, the Alexandrian hiders and sliders, which cast Gobskin. Gobskin grants a small shield to nearby party members, but is really only useful under healer mimicry. Weaken the enemies so the hider casts Gobskin, then kill it. If that didn't work, proceed to the third set of trash and repeat with the slider. After the slider, you may exit and try again if necessary. I obtained it on my second attempt for both characters. Next, move on to Thok as Thok hard against Ravana to pick up Surpanakha. Don't defeat him too early. You have to wait until Ravana enters his second phase before he uses Surpanakha. He can't really harm you. Just don't get knocked out of the arena's broken sections. Surpanakha is an instant OGCD ability with up to 4 charges that grow stronger if used consecutively. It's great for blue tanks to tag clumps of mobs in duties. When Ravana is preparing it, a prey marker will appear above your head and you'll see his animation 3 times. One character learned it on the first attempt. The other, however, took 9. Just stick with it and you'll get it eventually. Now equip Surpanakha and enter Afah Amphitheatre Extreme against Shiva for Glass Dance. Make sure you're running the extreme version. The hard version won't grant the spell. Running unsynced may require several attempts, so you might want to alternate these runs with other duties. It took 11 attempts for one character, but only 4 for the other. Rush through Phase 1, letting Shiva use Diamond Dust to transition into Phase 2. Glass Dance is an instant frontal conal OGCD move that, when combined with Eruption and Shock Strike, delivers a significant burst of damage. Once Phase 2 begins and the music changes, wait about 1.5 minutes without killing Shiva. She will follow a set sequence of skills before drawing her frostbow. You may see her speak about arrows. When she gains her frostbow buff, move behind her to avoid the attack and wait until the arrow animation is complete before finishing her off. Next, proceed to Thornmarch Extreme against King Mog for Palm Cure. Although available in normal mode, it's easier to obtain in Extreme. Palm Cure is a low-cost, single-target healing spell mainly useful with healer mimicry. In Extreme mode, Furryfoot and other Moogles appear sooner and can be revived multiple times, offering more opportunities to learn the spell. You must weaken, but not kill, other Moogles for Furryfoot to cast it. Furryfoot will be revived by King Mog if necessary. I acquired it within one fight for both characters. Enter Aurum Vale for Glower. Since Glower is required for the questline, you're guaranteed to learn it even unsynced. Run through the dungeon until you reach the second boss, wait for Glower to trigger, and then defeat the boss. Repeat a similar process in Tam-Tara Deepcroft for Mind Blast. Mind Blast is also required for the quest line and will be learned unsynced. It is used by Galvanth, the final boss. Be careful not to one-shot him before engaging. He must be weakened before he casts it. To learn Feather Rain for optimal DPS, fight Garuda in Howling Eye Extreme. It must be the extreme version. It may take several attempts, but the fight is quick. It took 8 for one character, but only 2 for the other. Garuda will use it during phase change. Look for the clustered AoE puddles. Feather Rain deals slightly less initial damage than Eruption, but adds a dot for higher total damage. You're now ready to tackle beginner Blue Mage group content and acquire more spells. For a recommended order, see the next video on essential Blue Mage duty spells. Thank you for being Blue.